Okay, what's up, boys? Welcome to the channel. Hold on, let me do that again. That was kind of weak. Hold on, give me a sec. What's up, boys? Welcome to the channel. Okay, that's a little bit better. So I want to talk about this dream I had last night. It was so weird. It wasn't like weird. Well, I mean, it was, but it was a very short encounter I had. Another one with Jesus. If you guys don't know, I saw Jesus in the psych ward a couple months ago, or not a couple months ago, like half a year ago, I'd say. And you know, it was a very special moment for me that I'll never forget, because when you see Jesus for the first time, it's like, you know, you don't forget it because Jesus. And you know what, real quickly, I'll summarize that encounter. I was kind of at the point in my life where, you know, you feel like you're at rock bottom. You know what I mean? That's where I was. That's how I felt. And I was sitting alone in the rooms that they give you in the psych ward, you know, and I was like really overwhelmed, you know, and I was just kind of like done, you know, I was just kind of like at rock bottom, you know, and I think that, and you know, other people have said this too before this happened to me, but I actually like understood it when it happened. Jesus and God, they show themselves to you and they talk to you when you lost everything, when you lose everything. That is when they finally show themselves to you, you know? And so I was in the psych ward. I was alone. I was, you know, crying, and I saw Jesus. I remember I was walking with him. I was walking with him in front of like a tree. It was like a tree full of fruit. And you know, I was there with him and we were walking, and yeah, I'll never forget it. It was a special moment because it helped me understand Jesus a bit more, you know. I want to kind of really quickly, before I get into the dream I had last night, I kind of want to really quickly explain what it's like when you're in Jesus' presence, because it's really something that I can say in words, but it's something that I can describe to you, but unless you feel it for yourself, you're never going to understand it. You know what I mean? So when you're in Jesus' presence, well, for me, I started crying, like, just bawling my eyes out, dude. You know, like, I was just so in awe, you know, by him. I think it's an understatement to say he's not like us. You know, like, he is so beautiful, dude. So beautiful. And you know what the crazy part is? You know it's him because you get this feeling where I guess the best way to explain it is you're just in awe by him. You know, you're so amazed by how you feel around him. You know, you feel a sense of peace when you're near him. It's the most beautiful thing. I can't even really, I'm trying to describe it the best I can, but it's really hard to describe. Like I said, like, I can describe it to you the best I can, but unless you feel it for yourself, you're not going to understand. It's a mix of peace and like awe, surprise, like just total surrender to his power, you know, like that kind of stuff. And again, it's hard to describe. But yeah, so that's the best way I can describe it. You know, that's what it's like when you're in Jesus's presence, you know. And so last night I was falling asleep, and sometimes when I fall asleep, you know, I'll have like a little like mini dream, but it won't be anything I'll remember. You know what I mean? It'll just be something like really kind of like an appetizer before you eat the main course. In this case, it would be like a little mini dream before I actually go to sleep and dream, that kind of thing. That's what it's like for me. But this is weird because I actually remember this, and I remember exactly what it was. I saw Jesus again. And I knew it was him because of the feeling I got, the feeling I just described to you. And I was only there for about like, I want to say enough time for me to realize that I was looking at Jesus. And then once I realized I was looking at Jesus, you know, I woke up and I went back to, you know, reality, you know, and I woke up and I was like, oh, you know, I was laying there for a second. I was like, oh my gosh, that was Jesus. You know, like I felt it in my heart. I was like, I just saw him again. And I really wanted to get up and write it down in my phone. But I was so tired that I was just like, I just have to remember it, I guess, for tomorrow. I'm really glad that I did, because I wrote it down in my phone this morning, and now I'm making a video about it because I want to, you know, talk about it so that I can look back on the video and be like, oh wow, this happened again. You know, I'm always looking to document this kind of thing because it's important that I remember. So what happened in the dream was, I was looking at him. He was like, his back was facing me. I wasn't looking at his face. I didn't see his face the first time either. I'm starting to think like you're not supposed to, because I think if you saw Jesus's face, maybe you'd probably die. I don't know. It's something like that, you know. I'm immortal. I'm a human. I'm not supposed to look upon Jesus's face just yet, you know. Anyway, so his back was facing to me, and the first thing I noticed about everything when I thought back on it as soon as I woke up was this was extremely detailed. Like, it wasn't like the first time where, like, yeah, I saw Jesus and I knew it was him, but I couldn't, like, totally, like, see him, I guess. Does that make sense? Like, it was the same way with this dream, but this time I saw him, and he was wearing like a white robe, you know, like, you know, he had long flowing brown hair, and he was glowing, and he had like kind of like a strap on his back. I'm not really sure how to describe it, like a strap, like kind of like on a backpack or something like that. It was, you know, it's kind of like going across his back, like in an X shape, like this, right? So like this, but on his, like this, like, but on his back, right? And it went like over his back, like on his robe. And the best way I can describe it is probably like how on some shirts the stitching is like kind of like crossed, like on the front, you know what I mean? Like those old kind of like wool shirts are kind of like, you know what I mean? They're kind of like stitched a certain way on the front. It was kind of like that. That's like the best way I can describe it. And he was like, like adjusting the straps, and then that's when I woke up. But I saw him, right? Again, it was outside. It was beautiful. We were in some kind of like park or like forest or something, and he was like sitting down on like a stone bench or a slab or something like that, and yeah, it was really detailed. Like I saw everything. Oh, another thing I want to mention that I didn't see the first time, but I saw this time. Jesus was glowing. Like, I tried explaining this to Dad, but I don't think I did a good job. I can try again, but I don't know if I'll do a good job. When I say glowing, I don't mean like his skin was glowing, his body wasn't glowing. I mean, it was, but it was more like he had like an aura around him, is the best way I can explain it. Like, he wasn't like glowing like a radiated ghoul in Fallout. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, he was like glowing like, I guess the best way I can explain it is like how an angel would glow. You know what I mean? Like, if you imagined an angel, or if you saw an angel in real life, it would be glowing. But it wouldn't be like, it's hard to explain. I don't know. It's really hard to explain because like it's something that like I saw, but if I try to explain it, it won't make any sense. So, I guess the best way I could explain it is it was like an aura. It was like an aura. And, yeah, I just kind of wanted to get on here and talk about this with you guys. This is the first time this has happened this way. Again, this is the second time I saw Jesus, but the first time was more him like reconciling me. He was showing me that he was with me, and that he's always been there. And I was at the lowest point in my life, and that's when he finally revealed himself to me, and this time I'm doing pretty good right now. I have hopes for the future. I'm no longer like on the medicine that I was on. I'm doing very well. And he showed himself to me last night, and I don't know why. I don't really need reconciling right now, but maybe this is like a sign of some sort. Maybe he wants to show me something. I don't think I would be in his presence otherwise. I think maybe this is like him trying to tell me something, or like maybe like tell me about something that's going to happen. I don't know. But that's the whole gist of the story. I kind of just wanted to get on here and tell you guys about it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Those three things would be cool because it gets into the algorithm and gets me more attention on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.